the meeting to order?
Vice Chair.
Vice
Did
Chair?
we
We don't have a vice chair.
Yeah, we didn't.
I had to resign.
She's liaison.
Well, I guess I'll call the meeting to order then. This meeting of the Committee on Disability Issues is called to order at 5:40 p.m. on February 25th, 2019. Roll call. Tori Child.
Present.
Trudy Lynn.
Present.
Kathy Wright. Philip Martinez.
Here?
Jesse Smith. Here.
I'm here, present.
Leslie Johns, Council Liaison. And Dwayne Wallace, Staff Liaison. Okay. No call to the public. Item number 1, approval of the minutes of the October 23rd, 2018 special session.
I move we accept the minutes.
A second.
Okay. We have a motion and we have a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 2, discussion and possible approval to elect a chair and vice chair and review of the responsibilities associated with these roles.
So we're supposed to figure out who's gonna be
Yes.
chair and vice chair. I'm already a chair for the police and fire. I mean, whoever wants to do either one, I'm all for taking either one. Whoever wants to take lead or not.
I'm already the scribe.
Well,
I'm missing some of this, I know we're on item number 2.
um,
We're still looking to elect a chair and a vice chair, correct?
Yes.
Right?
Right.
And so who's going to explain the rules and what that entails?
Just to review, we went over that last time.
Yes.
Tori speaking for the recording.
so this one is just easy. Whoever decides to, nomination, second, then we go from there.
Don't be shy, speak loud, the different people.
Yeah, if you can, here, let
Is
me.
your phone working if we speak loudly and slowly for translation?
If you speak loud and clear, it picks it up.
Okay.
Will that help?
Yes.
Okay, let me.
So like
She
I
has
said,
a delay in her phone.
so as I said, when it comes to electing chairs, it's someone nominated or someone who wants to be there, then seconded, and then voted upon, whether it's chair or vice chair. That's
Do
it.
we have any nominations for those positions yet? Everyone's being quiet?
I don't mind.
When we
chair or
started
vice
this-
chair. I don't mind being chair or vice chair. I'm already chair for the police and fire, so.
So you know the
Most of it,
procedure.
except for some of the, I was still kind of stumbling through little pieces, but a lot of it I still get.
Excellent.
When we first began, I thought Leslie would make a great chair, but I know that she's already doing other things now, we're too busy, right?
Very
can't
busy.
do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a conflict, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not on the committee.
Yeah, staff liaison and council liaison, we are non-voting members of the committee. We're not even, I guess technically, we bring things back to staff and bring things to council. We cannot vote, we cannot be chair or any of that. We're just here as support.
Yeah, so if there's any questions or anything we don't know or understand, they'll explain to us.
So is there a chance you could be chair or vice chair?
For me,
Uh-huh.
what am I interested in? Am I getting nominated? Probably vice, because I have a lot going on too, but I want to support this committee, so I volunteer myself for that position.
So, I nominate Philip Martinez for chair.
I second.
Okay, so we take a vote from here.
chair?
It's chair for right now. I think it will be yours. It will be yours right now after this one. So we're waiting for the rest of the items.
So we have nominated and seconded for him to be the chair.
Okay.
And we all said, if we said agree or not agree, so we said aye. Do you agree?
I agree.
Okay.
That's unanimous for that.
Any
Any opposed?
I want to hear what everyone's saying. Is that okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Please.
All right, then the next one would be again, any opposed? That's
No
none.
opposed.
That's unanimous for that. Okay, going into vice chair. What's your name again? I apologize.
Jesse.
Jesse. Okay, so Jesse wants to be vice chair. I second that, going in.
Who said her first?
I believe she did.
Okay.
Jesse Smith.
All right, and then now will be the vote. For Jesse Smith as vice chair, say aye.
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 Aye. I vote for myself too, huh? Aye.
Okay. So opposed? All right, it's unanimous as well, 4-4. All right, you are vice chair.
And thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Sure, yeah. Mhm. Is there, by the way, any way I can get a printed copy of my responsibilities sent to me?
Wait,
Like that?
Mm-hmm.
When?
Yeah, yes, myself or not, it'll probably be Nina, and I'll explain why at the end of the meeting.
I think that was the second thing in order, so we'll move on from that on to the third one. Discussion of ideas to recruit new members for committee beyond this city website. What exactly is that one?
I didn't make the agenda up.
Okay.
I did.
All right.
So at the last minute, like 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, I had emailed some ideas to Nina about that because I didn't know if anyone was going to put anything in. So what I'm speaking of is the only way people know about this committee other than speaking to them in town is by looking at the website. And so I thought maybe we could create ideas of reaching out to community members to engage them in this committee and have them come.
That was some of the issue we had with the police fire when we can only give out so much information on there. Because again, at that point it becomes a liability if we put up all of our numbers, whatever it is. It's an individual choice at that point.
Right,
So-
exactly.
So what I've done with mine is that, as I go out there, I tell people, if it is, something, I give them my number, and then that I do myself. The city has their own responsibilities for that. We can't push them to say yes or no on anything.
Exactly, and so I was trying to, I thought maybe a discussion on ways to approach people, proper ways to approach people to engage them in this committee.
We had an idea about, see, the problem with this is like, all right, we thought the farmer's market, something else like that. But again, it can only be a few of us. If there's I think it's any more than 3 of us, then that would be a quorum, so we cannot do that. We have to be separate times, separate days, whatever it is. We can't meet all up and say, oh, this is all of us.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that makes sense. But possibly we could disperse the areas. Someone may want to go to farmer's market and speak to people. Some may want to go downtown Bisbee library area and speak to people.
Well-
I just didn't know what is allowed and what isn't. If you could make a sign that says join us and then answer questions and sit. And
I think Ashley and Nina are kind of like the keepers of the open meeting law. You have to be very careful. You do have to be very careful on how many of the committee are, in one spot at one time. Farmers market can be iffy sometimes on that. That would basically mean you'd have to have like an agreement among yourselves during a meeting. This is what we're going to do. Only 2 of us here.
right.
And
that's why I hadn't pursued anything
Yeah.
between the meetings. We had this long time because I wasn't sure what I was allowed
Yeah.
to say to people.
I mean,
or
you can even on Facebook as individual members saying, yes, this is what I want. However, you have to watch out how many of the other committee members comment
viewing or comment.
or liking, because that's all like weird things that they're still trying to figure out.
That's
It's
why
still
I never
interconnected,
say it.
yeah. It's It's all interconnected. Once they see that there's any kind of connection to anything, then it becomes a problem for us, them. That's why I work with, again, Tin Town, Greenway. I go in there and I say, oh, I do this, this, and this, and then I go from there. Because it's just easier if you do it yourself than if you try to do it even as a semi-group, because it's one, we can't do a group.
Exactly.
And depending on the numbers and how many of us get involved, whether, say, Jessie starts something and then we're on the outside going, oh yeah, she's doing this, I'm doing this, that's still kind of, all of us still going in on it. So we all have to say a certain degree away from stuff.
Unless you guys want to do it as a group on the farmer's market, then you just have to properly notice it. You have to say, there's a potential quorum, no city business will be discussed or voted on at this time. So, and because that's usually what happens at any time there's a council group, you know, for whatever, some event or something like that. Because we all know, homecoming, there's a good chance a lot of people are going to be there, or chocolate tasting, or all these other things. So that's why they notice those as a potential quorum, no city business, you know. So that's the other way to do that. So you can sit there and then, as a group, even all of you, as long as you're not discussing city business or voting on city business, you can do those things as well.
Is it okay to put an ad in the paper?
If you talk to Laura, a lot of times Laura will do that every so often, say these are the committees that are looking for members. And there's always a bunch of them. All of our committees are always looking for members. And she does that, I don't know, like quarterly, it seems like. I don't know if that we pay, I don't know that specifics. But anything like that, I would usually go through Ashley or Nina. They're kind of the keepers of the information. If you want something like that, they're a good resource to go to.
So has anyone ideas other than what Philip is saying, like going to events individually or areas of population?
I know the Copper Library has one day a year where they have nonprofit organizations show up. And there are quite a few people that come through there. That might be one time. It will be later in the year. But it would be good to keep in mind for that.
And also at the church, there's certain events like they have a health expo thing and other stuff. I've told the head either Tony or Benjamin, Deacon Tony and them, they'll try and find, depending on how big we need a space, they'll try and put something together so we can, you know, be there for any questions or anything. So, and I don't think that'll cost us anything. Just have to know ahead so that we have a small enough space so that we can be present.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Most of them we just have to ask. So yeah, whether it's a library, I should say,
Sure.
a church, and that we just have to ask and go from there. Even from Tin Town, they'll let us come in for their community dinner, and then if anyone has questions, we can do that as well.
Okay. Is this something that, as a group, we should pursue? Do you guys think?
I think it's a good idea. The other community I work with, they're dragging their feet on it because we have a member who's very much in the particulars instead of just taking the simplest parts of it and using it. So I would say just this is something we can, you know, take it running with it. So long as our numbers are good, and again, as he says, we're not too connected to any of the events, I think it'll work.
Okay.
Okay. So moving on to number 4. Let me see. Review mission committee. What is it? Reinforcements. What is that word? I see the word.
Specifically.
There you go. Specifically, that committee is a fact-finding group that presents ideas to the city council. Again, you put the agenda together, you can explain that one.
This is terrible.
I'm a little lost.
I'm so sorry. Just I wanted to reinforce the fact there was so much confusion over all the last meetings that we had, that we were trying to create solutions when our goal is not to create the solution. It is to find the needs and suggest the solutions, I guess I should say, to the council so that they can take it from there. So basically to gain that. I just wanted to clarify that since we were starting up again.
Well, I already started that from the last meeting. I went from there, then, as a matter of fact, tomorrow is the next meeting for me with them. We had talked about the disabled parking. So they told me to again talk with you guys, and they told me what it takes for not just individuals, but stores, what it takes for them to make it an actual legal parking spot, from the marker, the lines. The sign is the most important thing. And yeah, so from here we can kind of, basically I'm gonna run between both of them, trying to see if we can get more parking spots, not just at the stores, but inside the town, which that's gonna be a little bit harder, but they showed us how we can approach, like even at Safeway, the handicap parking there, the kinda legal, kinda not. It's good that people pay attention to it, but really about 6 of those spots
Or
aren't
not
right.
ADA?
No, not even close.
Okay.
You know, the markers, the signage, the way it's supposed to be permanently posted. Most of them are kind of just signs you can move around however, so it's, but even in town, just like at coffee, the one next to the library, the 2 parking spots there, I mean, no one notices them, no one sees them, but again, they need the signage, they need the proper painting, they need everything. So it's kind of either up to us or the city to ask and go from there and see whether the businesses themselves want to do, or, it's kind of up to you to that. But, like I says, for the city one, we can just kind of ask. We just
The city, yeah.
Yeah, we have to find the areas that show in where they need handicap parking, whether it's, further down Tombstone or in town, or like even in the Gulch, there's none.
Well, there is handicap parking at City Park across from my house.
Yeah.
That I will not name names, but I know who took the sign down. I watched him do it, kicked it down. And they also took, well, I don't want to have this person in trouble. I actually spoke to him about it individually, this young man. And they also, not the same person, took the actual sign off of the bathrooms, so it doesn't even signify that that is a public restroom anymore. And I tried to save that for you guys, but someone took it. That particular sign. So whereas it's blue curb, which implies that it's handicapped, there's no other indication. So on weekends, it fills up with regular cars.
And lately, they've been really good about tagging cars, telling them where not to park and everything. So they've been great about that. But now it's enforcement of that.
Exactly.
So I'm hoping tomorrow when I speak with them, we can try and get that all rolling too. Because if it's not going to work enforcement on regular parking spots, how are they going to do anything for the handicap spots? So, any other thoughts on that about what else we can tackle?
Well, ironically, when you go to the next page, that's what my next thing was.
All right, we're moving on to line 5. Revisit what? I really need my glasses. Let's give it a shot. See if it's good.
This is when you bring extra glasses.
A little
Too
stronger.
much?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm old. You gotta remember that. I need to. I will read it for
Please,
you.
go ahead.
Since you haven't got them. Revisit what exactly we are working on currently, services for mentally ill and homeless citizens.
I remember you were talking about the smaller pamphlet last time.
Exactly, we went over that. But I mean holistically on this, I put a lot of thought in this, and there are a lot of resources for this population in our community, and I find it very valuable that we were looking at it. But on the downside of that, we looked at this situation, this issue, month after month after month after month without really any suggestions for improvement for the council. So my suggestion would be to back away from that, but keep it in our thoughts, but go forward to things, as Philip was saying, with the parking. possibly looking into issues with disabilities of the citizens in Bisbee, hearing impaired, visually impaired, physically with the parking. My husband's biggest thing is how handicapped and elderly are able to get their groceries and their needs up the staircases, things like that, and maybe redirect our focus that way for a few months and see if we can actually get some suggestions to the council, including the parking, which is a big one, on that, and kind of canvass the area and see what needs are not being met for that population.
I have two that are kind of pet projects of mine that I want on the list, whether we're working on them at the moment or not. And one is housing. Most disabled people are on very limited income, and housing is a huge area of challenge to keep decent, secure housing available for handicapped people. And the second one is I found mental health resources extremely limited in the area, even to the point where people with Medicare cannot use a counselor because we don't have people here that take Medicare. So, and then, it's difficult to find an alternative. So those are my two main ones.
Okay. And then, again, we have been working with issues for mental health up until this point. As far as what the city could do to help, I mean, that's where we need to think about. We have this fabulous list from Leslie of services. I've read recently that in Sierra Vista you can now get Suboxone and things like that to help people. It's a medication to help you get off of other drugs and things like that. So, and there's more counselors too, maybe not so much in Bisbee, but in Sierra Vista they are working towards that. As far as, I guess what I'm saying is we need to find things that we can suggest to the council that are actually something that the council would have power over. And I find that important for validity of our group. I mean, I have scoured, I'm faculty at the college. I'm a professor at the college. I teach second year nursing. I teach mental health at the college. And even with my connections there, I'm very limited on what the community could do to bring these in. A city could do to bring these in. I mean, yes, please.
I have one, and that is actively, there's a word I want to use and I can't quite get it, solicit, put ads in papers, Tucson, Phoenix, saying what a wonderful place Bisbee is to live and that we are looking for someone with these qualifications to come. There's a great need here. And I think if it came from the city.
But the city would not be an employer to bring those people in. I mean, they could say that, yes, Bisbee, as well as Sierra Vista, as well as Douglas, as well as Benson, as well as Cochise County entirely, needs these resources. But you would have to have a company like NAMI or someone like that say, we have revenue to hire a new counselor to bring them forth. Without a job, I mean, they can't bring their professional services and skills to us unless they have employment.
And even as a private practice setting, they have to know that there's enough coming in for it to matter for them to come in as well. You know, if you don't have, I mean, they have enough people coming in, but if there's not enough payment, and if there's payment is slow because of insurances, they won't come in. I mean, that goes for any state of California, here, Texas. I've been to a lot of those spots helping people, and it's same thing.
So we're screwed.
Yeah, I mean, we could get volunteers.
No.
We can get volunteer people. We can get volunteer counselors in that, but it's all up to them.
I know.
It's all up to them at the end of the day. We can ask for other people from other cities, but it's up to them, their free time. If they show, they show. They don't, they don't. So I mean, yeah, we can personally ask other smaller agencies, other individual doctors, hey, would you mind? That's the best we can do without, like trying to force people in to them or anything else. It'll give them an opportunity to weigh their options and say, okay, well, I could give up a Thursday for this. I can give up a Tuesday for this. Because right now as it is, I task a big professional to come over here and kind of see what happens. None of them will ever come by. I've tried this about 2 years ago and no, a lot of no's.
They would have to be independent at that point and then have liability insurance to come practice without being part of their organization.
It's either that or it would have to be a free group, kind of like an AA setting, like, oh,
Oh, yeah,
just here
totally.
to talk. But again, it would still be on a volunteer basis. Or if anyone wanted to put a donation or whatever. That's the only way that we'll get someone that may come down.
But it's well worth pursuing.
Yes.
It is well worth pursuing to see.
We
I don't want to shut you down on that. Not at
We
all.
got generous people out there, we just have to find them and ask them. There's always a possibility someone will say yes. Wouldn't hurt to try. Okay, anything else on it? Anyone has any other plans? Alright, so what is it? Number 6?
And number 6 is suggestions for changing focus of the group for services of handicap. And we've been speaking of this over the last few. Broadening our horizons, I guess I should say, to include issues for handicapped people, hearing impaired, visually impaired, to make sure that their needs are being met.
Well, I should have been asked about that. How would we try and do that? Because I know so much can be done only by the city or the state, and it's again, I'm not sure how most of the stuff will be implemented. I generally
I agree with all these. Well, your parking is a great starter. We all know, we have individually noticed that parking for handicap is not optimal in the entire Bisbee area. That would be something that would be, we would be able to go and investigate and talk to people. Do you feel that you have places to park? Speaking to locals in the neighborhoods, in the Warren area, in the different districts, at the Safeway, gauging where they think it's not adequate, and then presenting to the council a need to improve this. Replace signs that are broken, like on the Gulch. Fix public areas through the council, because again, it's not really the private, they're not responsible for the Safeway and everyone else. So just to kind of expand our role is a suggestion.
Second is.
I looked forever for different ways for hearing impaired to be able to participate better at public meetings. There's a lot of models in other cities, in Denver, places like that are using. I'm not sure the cost involved, but I know there are things out there that can make it easier for hearing impaired to be able to not have to have your smartphone and hope that it's picking up what I'm saying.
It's interesting, yes, I love it.
That's
a good idea.
But yeah,
I'm thinking about stuff like that too. Most deaf citizens just call themselves deaf, however, not hearing impaired. We're trying to get rid of that old language.
are you? Okay,
Things were broken, and we see it that way.
sure.
Language is important.
Oh, yes.
Very much
I would
so.
like to look into stuff like that. Language that we use inside signs and such from that perspective. But I'm on board for whatever's going on here.
Oh, no, I
I don't really
agree.
have any ideas myself right now, but I'm excited.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say too, sometimes older attitude on what we think is, again, the whole hearing impaired thing is that, if we move on from that, we might be able to get more involved, so people can understand that when people hear hearing impaired, it's like, oh, well, she can't hear us, or they can't understand us. Oh, they can, they definitely can. So, it's gotta either go on with that, it is,
Yeah.
all right. That was 7, right? All right, pocket guide next, yeah,
Yay.
there we go, all right, this is all yours, definitely all yours.
It's all mine?
Oh, yeah, because I checked out the other stuff too, everything's good so far.
I called, many of the numbers on this pocket guide, and I found no errors. Everybody, either their answering machine or them answered,
So nothing's changed since I put it together.
okay. What is the next step for this valuable resource you created?
Then we're gonna send it to the presses at the health department, and it'll go out, it'll be distributed through, we've got a bunch of people who will hand it out. First responders, the district.
Have you ever approached any of whether it's big or the large shops about having it available, like say if Safeway had a small stack over there by the service counter?
I haven't, but I gotta look at the budget for printing before we do that, because we promised the fire department a couple hundred, we promised the police a few, we promised, I gotta go back through my notes, but different agencies around town, and we've actually got them for several communities in the county, and, we've got, I just gotta go back and look at who's getting how many, and Simpatico agreed to pay for Arizona Complete Health now is paying for the printing, so we need to look at how many they're willing to print, and, who's going where, but that's a good idea, the large retailers, to set them out, because I think we did a run of 500 with the first version, and they were just gone immediately, so.
Because I was gonna say, if, for us, if we wanted to move on our own, I was gonna ask, do you have something like this that's on, that could be put on a flash drive? Because on my own, I have a remature paper, I don't mind doing some on my own, off and on.
Oh,
So if you
yeah,
have something-
I can send you the file, I've got it saved on my work computer.
Oh, yeah, if you could do that, then I don't mind putting out like about 60 here and there, I mean, I have no problem with that.
Yeah, do I have your email address
I
somewhere?
believe was it on the contact form with us, or?
It probably is, that I don't. If you wanna
it's-
write it down.
You need to put it on public recording.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Writing's horrible, so I write it as best I can.
You don't have the glasses.
That's, I'm dipping way back here. This is a real easy one. The name, what's on there, and one more letter. That's it.
I can read it.
Alright. So like I said, I don't mind, printing some here and there.
Okay, we were gonna do, because, we're printing these up for different communities in the county, we're gonna do a certain color for every city. So as soon as I know which color Bisbee's gonna be, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figured, oh no, well, I was gonna ask you why, but it kind of helps to know who has what, so you know where they're at. Ask me that.
No problem.
I got it. Alright. Because yeah, if it's any other color, I'll see what I can get, but right now, all I'm working with is white.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, again, just if it's kind of a last minute thing, someone says, oh, I need this for someone, then, I can print it out, get it done, to go, here you go.
Okay, well, thank you for offering, we're gonna see if we can, we're seeing if we can get it professionally done, and I'll let you know that that's a great offer, thank you.
Yeah, because I mean, if there's, I'm guessing there'll be times where we're either not going to have enough, as you said,
Mhm.
or something else, and we'll be like, okay, well, this person needs the stuff, and there's no way we're gonna remember all that information, so we can prep just, one or two for somebody, whoever needs it, then, not so much, it's okay. Anything over that, yeah, I would imagine you would have to go further out, yeah.
Okay,
Definitely.
sounds good, yeah.
Okay. Anything else about the pocket guide?
No, It's very well done.
Yeah, I think,
Allison Williams did the layout. So,
It's very well done.
wonderful graphic designer,
okay. All right, and we're moving on to 8. Is it review if anyone has any thoughts? Yeah, that's bad. Regarding the topic of improved services for the HOH citizens of Bisbee.
yeah.
For the deaf citizens of Bisbee.
Yeah, there we go.
And this is a carryover of our former chair. This was something that she had felt passionate about, and it got put on our agenda. That wasn't a suggestion for me, it's a carryover. But it's very, it seems like it's needed from different comments of all things on Facebook and such. I had a whole little fight about it. And the needs of people attending the council and such and not being able to keep up and follow up with what's going on during that. How to remedy that? Like I said, I looked into different cities and what they do and really couldn't find it. I actually emailed a few people, no one got back to me on it.
Well, one way is by using technology like this. I think in the area here, most people that have lost their hearing, they don't really identify as deaf. They're still hearing, they just can't hear anymore. So something like this, brand new technology that came out a week ago, and making businesses like the Royale, when they show movies, they should always have their captions on. I was really mad. I went the other day to a movie. First half didn't have it. I thought, oh, okay, maybe it's the DVD doesn't have it. The intermission, we came back, there were captions all of a sudden. Oh, I was so happy and excited. Then they come off. They stop the movie and come off. I'm like, there's a deaf person here that wants to follow along. I was kind of mad. So, like, maybe contacting the Royale, making sure the movies are captioned.
In the lower areas, there's where people say the Royal, there's a couple whiners down the I can't see the movie right, why is it the lady in the way? It happens a lot when I go there, and it's just, it's not for you. It's for somebody else, and yeah, there's just a lot of people complaining.
A lot of people, they were complaining. I
Yeah.
don't want to see the words there, it's distracting.
We watch all our movies with
They
caption.
do have a point. They do have a point. Most hearing people, that would annoy them. I understand that, but
Actually, it's great.
How about if the Royale did an announcement before the movie explaining that there are deaf people here and we use the subtitles to accommodate those?
that'd be a good idea.
And just hopefully cut off
Right,
the
this is
whining
what's happening.
starts.
That would be a good idea.
I feel
I'll
like
talk to Becky.
I
Becky
feel-
Reyes is in charge of it right now, and she's a pretty good friend of mine. And I'll explain that. We can have captured movies all the time by law. You have to, really.
see, but the announcement thing feels like it's pointing out, it's like the person holding up the line with a broken leg, see that guy? Sorry guys, everything's really later, because again, it's just pointing out the problem that, yeah, that seems a bit much there.
Good idea.
I don't think anyone wants to be singled out.
They should do it regardless.
Yes.
But specifically relating to council meetings, how much did your app cost, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I want to know too.
Because I'm thinking, oh, okay.
Stop working something.
Oh, I said, how much did the app cost? Because I'm thinking.
How much does it cost?
Yeah,
What do you mean, a captioning system?
yeah.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
this that I'm using?
Oh, no,
Your
like
new
some
app.
kind of captioning system.
What I'm using?
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
free.
it's free.
It's free. It's called Live Transcribe. It's only for Android phones right now. But a person who's hard of hearing, they're not going to use a sign language interpreter because they don't know sign, but they still want to know what's going on. So they open this on their phone, and it works about 90% accurate. Sometimes it's something that, it kind of, like I hear, something, wonderful things will happen. Marvelous pigs in satin? What? Because that sometimes, but it's pretty accurate. This is a good service, I think. It's brand new technology, so it's exciting.
Yeah, no, it's grand.
As far as captionings for movies, that stuff's already built in.
Well, no,
Yeah.
but I'm thinking for live council meetings, if we had something like that, and we
See?
had a monitor,
Yeah.
That would be great. I don't know, I'll look into that. There are live caption systems where it's like a red bar, and the words flash as you go.
yeah,
Things are being
because
said.
Tori's
I like
right,
captions, but I don't know what, for other events in town that would be used for, maybe for council meetings, or to make them accessible to hard of hearing people, they could just read what's going on. That might be a good idea. My assumption would be, it's gonna be expensive.
Yeah.
Right, I can get it,
Captions.
But if something like this is free and we just
This is
needed to
free.
hook it up to a monitor,
Yeah,
like a large monitor or
it's a
something.
good start.
Yeah.
See, and that would be, and that's kind of what I'm speaking of, that would be a wonderful suggestion that could go to the council, that you have discovered this app, that it's useful, that it could be put on
Put it
a
out there,
screen,
you know.
and to test it, since it's not costing any money, to see if it can keep up and people can participate more.
Nice.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Usually when people at the campus come up and talk to them, you can't anything. And I'm like,
That's
That's
gotta
artificial.
like open a whole new world or something.
yeah.
it's helping me.
Good.
But what other, but other than the captioning system, what else would be helpful or useful?
Well, this system would be useful for hard of hearing people, I think. If they can read and, you know, one of the things in our society, people always look at their phone and think I'm not paying attention, but I'm trying to like, oh, it's, I don't know, I'm liking it so far. I was excited to try it for tonight's meeting.
So overall, the
But
captioning
yeah,
system.
see, we could advertise this, maybe with the mental, well, yeah, maybe with the mental packet, we can't hear, open this app, download it on your phone, it'll help you.
What about adding it to our little flyer?
Mm,
Oh.
The app.
That's a good
That,
suggestion.
yeah.
Very good.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Really good.
What's it called again? Live transcribe?
Live transcribe, it's only for Android right now.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Apple will catch up, they'll be competing soon. It's brand new, it just dropped about a week ago, so I was very excited.
How were you notified about that app? Did you just come across it?
How did I come across this? I belong to a deaf Facebook page, and they were showing, oh, look how cool, we got to read. Of course, I
Nice.
encourage use of sign, but for those that don't, and there's many older folks that lose their hearing, they've never identified as deaf, they're not going to, they're not gonna learn sign at 60, 70, 80 years old. But this would help our live captioning system too.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
definitely.
I'm glad I can contribute something, I'm trying.
Okay, so, excuse me, so it looks like we ran through everything. So this is where we either adjourn the meeting, and then I say,
Well, do we need to talk about future
oh
agenda
yeah,
items?
future agendas, my apologies, yes.
No problem.
Any, anything for next meeting, anybody?
Maybe I'll look at the live captioning systems more, try to get a price on that.
That's a good idea.
I think, what would we need here really, what is it,
Contact the Royale, see what they feel about captions.
mm.
No, they should.
Because even for here for a meeting, well, we would either need a television that's internet ready, or something we could connect it to.
Well, we don't know yet, so
Yeah, that's what I'm
obviously
saying, at the end
between
of
now
the-
and then, we would look at the,
Yeah, yeah.
we would do research.
Then that's, second thing would be with parking that, like I said, I'll find out more after tomorrow's meeting, then we'll find out, we can go on from there, because I do think one thing that's gonna help is as wherever we're at, if we could, on our own, we don't have to do it aggressively, but kind of survey the areas, find out what spots really need handicap parking, because up Tombstone, I know that, I know there's other parking spots, but they're not really safe parking spots where they can get out of wheelchairs or anywhere else. But if we could try and ask and try and we see if we can designate spots, safer spots, where handicapped could park there, you know, get out of the wheelchair really easy without having to worry about traffic, you know, that would work. That's one spot I'm really looking at, but again, in the individual areas, if we could take a look, trying to figure out the street's address and something that I can approach with them and tell them, look, at these other areas, really bad, not just for regular parking, but especially for them. And they need a safe spot where they can get other vehicles without having to be in traffic or anything,
And if I'm allowed to, and Wayne, will you stop me if I can't do this? Since the next meeting will be after, I can speak to what the city's doing around housing, just to sort of assuage, your concerns too, because there is stuff going on with that. Yeah, so, and there will be a meeting between now and then and I'll know more at our next meeting.
That's good. Alright, so it looks like we have 2 things coming up. Okay, now would be the, what is it? Oh geez, I just said it, and I lost the sentence. What is that? To adjourn. Yeah, there we go, thank you. Alright,
Motion to adjourn.
okay, and we need a second?
A second?
Alright, those 4, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Everybody? Okay, aye.
Aye, sorry.
Alright.
I'm working.
Alright, motion passes, anyone